Hi, and welcome to Now Testing Products. So today I'm going to do a review on the Kodak Playsport ZX3. Now I've had this unit for a while now, so I've been able to give it a quite intense testing, and I wanted to give my viewers my thought on the pros and cons with the Kodak Playsport ZX3. Let's go over some of the features that this actually has. On the right hand side here at the very top, you've got your power button. And then you've got your little latch here that springs the door open. Now this door is spring loaded, so it'll open automatically for you. Inside here on the right hand side you have a mini HDMI port. Beside that you have a USB port. And then finally you have an AV jack right beside that. Now the door is all nicely sealed up with a gasket to keep it watertight. So you're going to want to hold it down and flick that up to lock it into place. On the very bottom here, right beside, you've got your speaker. Now, this is one of the major problems with the Kodak Playsport ZX3. Some people are starting to notice that once they've submerged their unit in water and you come out with it, the sound quality is really poor. It kind of sounds like it's muffled, like you're in a tunnel or something. People have made a lot of comments that the quality is really poor and they thought something was wrong with their Kodak Playsport and they returned it back and got a new one. Well, there's nothing wrong with it. This is just simply how it is. I found sometimes blowing in these slats kind of blew the water out a little bit, and then you could hear the sound a little bit better in your video. But overall, Kodak needs to make a change to this, because once you take it out of the water from being submerged, your sound quality is really poor. And I'm going to have to give the speaker on the Kodak Playsport ZX3 a 1 out of 10, being that that is the worst feature in this particular product, and it is a huge problem, and I hope Kodak actually makes a change to that in the future. Now moving on, right beside that you can attach it to a tripod. Now on the left hand side, we're just going to open up the door again. You press down on that and it springs open. And in there you got your battery. And then it can take an SD card or an SDHC card, which is kind of nice. And again, the door's got a nice gasket on it to keep it all watertight. Now the Kodak Playsport itself only weighs 5.1 ounces with SD card and battery, making it super light. Its dimensions are 4.4 by 2.3 by 0.8 inches, making this easy just to slide into a pocket. Some of the other great features with the Kodak Playsport is that it does record in 1080p. It also records in 720p at 30 frames per second and 720p at 60 frames per second. I did find recording in 720 at 60 frames per second the best quality video. Now it does have an H2O setting, which I'll show you in a second how to get into that. The Kodak Playsport does have a 5 megapixel camera, and I found that to be a real big drawback on this unit. Is the quality in the still pictures was horrible. I didn't like it at all. But if you are buying the Kodak Playsport, you're probably buying it because you're going to use it where there's a lot of water and probably not take a lot of pictures. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn it on. I'm going to show you some of the other features that it actually has. Now, if you do take it in water, as you probably already found out, the Kodak Playsport, you can only take it up to 10 feet, which is about 3 meters. So anything past that, you might start getting leakage in your gaskets and you might get water inside the unit. So I do recommend not taking it past 10 feet. Now on the front here, you've got 4 buttons. You've got your button to go straight into video mode. You got your second button, which takes you through your videos and pictures that you've taken. You've got a recycle bin button, and then you've got your settings button here. And we'll go into settings and we'll show you actually what this Kodak Playsport has on board. Now it has 11 different settings. We'll go through the settings here. The settings that it has on board, it has an EIS, which is an electronic image stabilizer. It also has face detection. And you have the H2O mode. So you go over here to H2O. You're going to click on it, and then you're going to move it over to the check mark, and you're going to click on it to put it in H2O mode. Now, that's one drawback that I found with the Kodak Playsport, is that I wish it had a button on the front that I could just push to put it right into H2O mode. Having to go into settings and switch over is kind of a bit of a pain, especially if you're swimming already and you want to go above water to below water. You got to go through the settings before you get good video quality. Moving on from that, you have an LCD brightness setting. You also have an LCD glare shield setting. You've got the mic gain and volume sounds control. You have a TV out. You have a date and time stamp. You can also format your SD card. So you can go into your settings down here, and right there you can format your SD card right on the Kodak Playsport. And at the very end, you've just basically got your cam information. So we'll come out of that, and we'll get into some of the other great features that the Kodak Playsport actually has. Now, the Kodak Playsport itself, like I said, records in 1080p. And the best setting is the 720 at 60 frames per second. Now, one other drawback I found with the Kodak Playsport is the glass screen here actually gets scratched quite easily. And I kind of wish that Kodak went with a type of glass like what the Samsung Galaxy S2 phone has. They call that Gorilla Glass, so that it's anti-scratch and it doesn't get damaged. Maybe Kodak will add that into their next Kodak Playsports in the future. But outside of that, I'm actually going to give this product a 7 out of 10. Is that it is very user-friendly. It's very lightweight. One other option I wish Kodak actually had, instead of this little strap that you put around your wrist, I wish they had a strap that you could actually mount the Kodak Playsport to your arm, so that if you're swimming, it's out of the way and it's not dangling. Because if you're, wearing a swimsuit that doesn't have pockets, it makes it kind of difficult to hang on to it when you're swimming. Outside of that, the Kodak Playsport, for the value, I believe you can get it for probably under $100 right now. So for its value, I actually do recommend the Kodak Playsport. I just wish Kodak would make some changes to their speaker and to their glass protector here, being that that does scratch up a little bit. Outside of that, that's going to be my review on the Kodak Playsport ZX3. Got any other comments about this particular device? Leave a message down below. Subscribe to my video. I'm Steve for Now Testing Products, and thanks for watching.